and it's to do with your survivability when you're out in the woods or in a bushcraft type scenario. The rule is pretty simple. It's a list of your priority of needs, and the first priority is oxygen, because without oxygen you can die within 3 minutes. Now, there's not much we can do to influence whether or not we've got enough oxygen, apart from trying to avoid the risk of drowning or suffocation. So the oxygen tends to be almost a given. The next 3 priorities though are the essential bits for survival and bushcraft. You've got 3 hours until you die of exposure. Your body's regulation of its core temperature is your key priority in any type of survival situation. Now, even people out walking in the mountains, or walking out in the woods, these cases we hear of people who have died, very few of them are ever on the news because they've starved to death. Very few of them are ever on the news because they've dehydrated and died. They're all dead because of exposure. Your body has a limited ability to regulate its core temperature, and too hot or too cold is going to be the thing that kills you. So the most important thing in a survival scenario is maintaining and establishing some protection from the elements. So whether that is a waterproof coat and cover and an umbrella at the basic level is going to keep you dry. A fire will keep you warm. A shelter will keep you dry and out of the wind and out of the cold. That's the most important thing. So if you're going to learn any skills in a sequence, start with that. Start with being able to establish a fire and being able to establish a shelter. The next most important thing that's going to influence is the fact that you can only survive about 3 days without water. So if you do not have safe drinking water, the ability to create safe water from perhaps non-potable water in a river or a stream is a key thing to learn. Beyond water, you've got 3 weeks until you're going to starve to death. So many people who go out and practice bushcraft skills start with wild edibles. Should be right down at the bottom of your list. Learn how to build a shelter and a fire. Learn how to make water safe for drinking, or make sure you have enough water with you at all times. And then lastly, food. 3 weeks. If you can really envisage a scenario where you're likely to be lost or needing to survive on your own for 3 weeks, that's quite an extreme. Perhaps a night or two might happen to people. You might get lost in the woods, you might get lost on the side of a mountain, and the priority then is protection from the elements. So within this wood, where I'm fortunate enough to be able to come and practice the bushcraft skills, there is no potable water. There's no running water source, there's no standing water source to try and make it safe, there's no piped water, so it's essential for me when I come here to make sure I've brought water with me. There are means of collecting water from leaves on the trees after rainfall, etc., but it's a very precarious resource to rely on gathering rainfall. So to that end, I tend to come to the woods with a container like this, which I can fill with, I think it holds about 5 gallons of, it holds 2.5 gallons of water, which I can fill when I get here. I only need a litre of water per day is the kind of basic human at the level of operation. 1 litre a day is plenty to sustain you, but would never come to the woods with less than about 3 litres of water. For cooking, for washing, cleaning your hands prior to food preparation, etc. These little roll-up containers are around about £5 to £10. You can buy them online or at any good camping shop. Suspend them from a tree, tap operation. You can draw off exactly what you want. You haven't got any chances of spills. It's up off the ground. It's easy for, if there's more than one person in a group, to access this without everyone having to carry lots of water bottles with them. And you've immediately got your source of water.